What's up? My name is Royce the 5'9". I represent Detroit. Right now you're checking out Wreckords Radio. Salute.
What's up? This is Demrick.
Jamie Madrock.
Man, this your man's Obi Trice.
This is Ad-Lib.
Yo, what up? This is Specs Wonder.
Special K.
Hot Rock's motherfucking Scrat MC.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio out here.
This is Breaking Records Radio.
Check them out, man.
Alright, Breaking Records Radio, you know what it is. It's your man Maloney in the place to be. And right now we have a special guest, Royce the 5'9".
What's up?
One half of the group PRhyme, yes, one half of the duo Bad Meets Evil, and one quarter of the super powerhouse Slaughterhouse.
Yes, sir.
How you been doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I can't complain. Congratulations first off on the sobriety.
Thank you.
I know, what, 4 years now?
Almost 4 years.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, bro. It's really good to hear.
I appreciate that, man.
Every time I've seen you live, I can't lie. You had a full bottle of Patron by the time you're done your set. I think it's pretty well squashed.
Yeah, and I probably had another bottle waiting in the dressing room and one in the car.
But, and I'm aware that you woke up one morning in a hotel and kind of had an awakening. Yeah. That was kind of your, I was wondering, during your alcoholism, was there a point that you would consider your rock bottom?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I never was really in denial.
Yeah.
That was the one thing about my alcoholism. I never really looked at it like, yo, man, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I knew I had a problem. And I knew it was only a matter of time. So along that process, everything happened. Got in car accidents, went to jail, all kinds of violence, like anything associated, any stigmas attached to bad decision making and drinking, everything applied to me.
Yeah.
To everything. So the day that I decided to stop, I wasn't at a career low. I was actually at a career high.
Yeah, because that would have been after Bad Meets Evil as well, right?
Yeah, it was like Lighters was out. Lighters was like the #1 song in the world.
Oh wow, that's...
Yeah, so I was depressed. I don't know if I knew at that moment that I was depressed.
Yeah.
But after I stopped drinking and I was able to look at it in retrospect, I was going through depression. I just didn't know it, but
you're just so used to day in, day out.
I knew something wasn't right. I was completely functioning. Everything was going good, but everything was going wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
No, it totally does, yeah.
Like numbers wise, it was working. But it was also fueled by my affiliation with Marshall.
Yeah.
But just like the decisions I was making, the people who I was surrounding myself with, negative things that were happening, like I was like on top of the charts, but I was hanging out at bars getting in fights.
Yeah.
Like I was literally doing festival shows with like casts on my arm.
One of the times I see you performing, you had a cast on your head.
Yeah, it's like, man, no grown man should be doing that.
Yeah.
No grown man should have to punch somebody in the face. I don't care what business you're involved in.
Yeah.
There's nothing cool about that. You know what I mean? So that played a factor in it. My strained relationship with my wife, my family. You know what I mean? Like I got this big fear of being the corny older guy.
Yeah.
And I also have a big fear of leaving the industry with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like because what I had at that time as far as like finances and numbers, that stuff goes away.
Yeah. Especially if you're drinking every day too, right?
That can be taken away easy. It's easy to run through money. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing. That's easy. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anybody can do something crazy and get props and go to jail.
Yeah. For
the rest of their lives. Anybody can think they're the hardest nigga in the world and get killed or hurt really bad. Anybody can make that one, can drink 2 or 3 too many drinks and get behind the wheel of a car and take their own lives as somebody else's life.
Yeah.
You know, like I got to a point where I felt like, yo, none of these are option for me anymore. This is not what I want. You know, I got kids. You know, my oldest son, you know, he was starting to get to an age where he was noticing things. You know, we talking about a sharp kid. We're not talking about a kid that you can just fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like.
And he produces now too, right?
He
Same son?
He's really good, really good. So, you know, I just felt like it was time for me to make a decision, you know? I'm an extremist. So if I decide I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to death.
Yeah.
So I knew there was no gray area here. I knew there was no way I could just drink in moderation. Only drink some days, drink on the weekends. All of these things that normal people do, I can't do. Like, I don't have no concept for that. You know,
Wired differently.
I'm wired completely differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried everything. I tried switching to wine. I tried.
I heard that you're doing the Monster Energy drinks for a
I
while.
tried everything.
Yeah.
I tried only drinking on the weekends. None of that works.
Yeah.
You know, so once I hit the point where I realized that that was my truth, I decided to live my truth. You know, so I gave it a shot. It wasn't the first time I tried to stop drinking.
Oh no.
But it was the first time I asked for help.
Yeah. I know Marshall helped you out with that, right?
And it worked wonders. It worked wonders for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I needed. I needed to realize that I was powerless over this drug called alcohol. I was powerless over it. I wasn't going to be able to do it myself. Handed my life over to recovery.
Yeah.
And the Lord, you know.
And honestly, kudos to you too, man, because I find alcohol is one of those substances that most people, because it's so commonly appreciated, you know, everybody does it everywhere, I find it's one of those drugs that people don't really look at as a drug, and a lot of people never even realize they have an issue with it. Yeah. But I've personally had people close to me pass from drinking alcohol.
Me too, brother.
So,
God bless.
I actually, when I seen that turn in your career, I thought that was huge. And I'll even say now, you seem a lot more clear-minded meeting you right now and talking to you than the 4 previous times I've met you in the past. You probably don't even remember, because you're probably drunk as hell.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I never really got drunk as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I got to the point where, for you to catch me drunk, like super drunk, oh man, you have to catch me right before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to be on tour with me. Joel, and Crook, probably, they seen me super drunk.
Yeah.
Nobody really sees me super drunk unless you catch me either on tour at 5 in the morning, or if you're still hanging at the bar. At that time, I was hanging with somebody who owned a bar.
Yo.
So we used to just be in a bar after it closed and after everybody went home, still drinking. You know what I mean? So if you were one of those people, then you seen me super drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, I kept it together throughout the day, and I drank throughout the whole course of the whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, I maintained a buzz throughout the whole day, and then right before I go to sleep,
that's
would catch
all
up to
hit
me,
you at once, yeah.
and I'd just be like super sloppy.
Shit.
Super sloppy. My wife seen me at my sloppiest times.
And actually, you mentioned your wife as being one of the huge motivators to want to stop drinking. And I was watching an interview with you recently where you told Kino before you were even signed that there's 2 things you don't do. Mm-hmm. You don't drink on your wife, or you don't cheat on your wife. Yeah. And honestly, I can't actually remember what the other was, but that was the one that stuck to me. Yeah, I don't drink. But and I just thought that was crazy because in your music you have never ever been afraid to speak of your infidelities. Mm-hmm. I was kind of wondering how was that to deal with your wife when you're publicly going out? You know what I mean? Like if you want to speak.
Well, you talking about when I said that in music?
Yeah, but I mean like
music.
Yeah, but I mean like you referenced it quite regularly.
Yeah, I mean.
Which I love the honesty in the music. Like
Yeah, it was kind of like what comes easy for me is just to be, natural.
Yeah.
And just give the people who are listening what I am. And everything that I've ever released, any music that I've ever made has always just been a reflection of what I was at that time.
Yeah.
So what people are witnessing now when they're listening to my music is just the growth, the natural growth. No different from Jay-Z, One year he was saying, I don't save him, I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't love him, I don't touch him, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
next year he's boo-booed up.
Yeah, I ain't, now, and then he giving her the keys to security codes. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all about his wife, you know what I mean? And that's just a natural maturation of a man.
Yeah.
Period. And this is, I think it's important to do age-appropriate music. I think it's just important to just be you, So in terms of how I deal with it with my wife, when I talked about infidelity and things like that, I was always so drunk all the time. I never really had to deal with it in real time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, my girl texts me at 10 o'clock and say, yo, we need to talk. I text her back at 12, drunk. Like, I'm drunk, yeah, now what's up? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it used to be. You know what I mean? So I never really dealt with it head on. I always dealt with it on my terms, and that's
Which was being
a
drunk.
part of the problem. Yeah, part of the problem. So there's only but so long that that'll last in any relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like it's only but so much that you could push a person. Until you lost that person. So I realized what I needed to do in order to keep my home life intact. I got young girls. They're gonna start being of age in a minute to where they're gonna start understanding everything way quicker than my boys did.
Mm-hmm.
Because women are way more perceptive. Girls are way more perceptive and intuitive. You know what I mean? So
they mature much quicker. So
yeah, I mean, I pretty much know what I'm getting myself into by having 2 little girls. So it's just like, you gotta have your shit together, man.
Yeah, you want to be a good role model for the man that they're gonna bring home.
Yeah, of course, you want to do it. You want to do everything that's not corny. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be a man, man. You can't let the business just consume you. And then when the business is done with you, because that's normally how it goes with rappers. And then when business is done with you, they let you go. You don't walk away.
Yeah.
You get let go. And then when that happens, you don't want it to be there's nothing left for your family. You just let the business just take everything from you. And now you just reduce the rubble and you got nothing, you left with nothing but excuses and good memories.
Yeah.
I can't be that guy.
That's actually...
I won't be that guy.
That's an incredible perspective, man, actually.
Yeah.
That was really well put. Yeah, sorry to cut you off that just...
Thank you, man.
That was really well put, man. Anyway, I guess we'll move on because I know you guys are on a tight time. But I did want to ask you, because through the years and years, I've never been able to figure this out, and even through the extensive hours of researching I did last night and interview watching, still this answer never came up. I'm aware the first time you went to D&D Studios was for the Tony Touch mixtape.
I believe, I'm not sure if that was the first time, but it was one of them.
Okay.
The first time.
And, but Primo wasn't there.
Okay, I think, yeah, that sounded about right.
How
was I with Marshall?
Yes, you were.
I don't think Preem was there. We were there to see Tony Touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I recalled you saying, but I was curious, when did you and Primo meet? Because I know you had the production on your first album. You guys, personally, you two make... He's my favorite producer for you to rap on. Always has been.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we met at D&D.
Yeah.
And it was definitely after that session, because one of the reasons he agreed to give me a beat, to sell me a beat, because that's what it was back then.
Yeah.
You basically gotta ask him, is he down to produce for you? If you're like a new artist, and he'll let you know if he'll work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how big of a deal he is. So like, he had just heard of me through the Tony Touch project. Like, he heard that verse.
Okay.
And he liked it. That's why he was willing to work. He didn't even know. I'm not even sure if he knew that I recorded it at D&D.
Oh, really?
Maybe he put 2 and 2 together because Tony Touch had a room in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe he pays attention to whatever Tony Touch does because he has a room in the studio. I don't know. But whatever it is, he heard this verse. And he was like, yeah, I fuck with that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll do some shit with him. You know what I mean? So, I believe we had to pay him in cash, though.
Whew.
I think we may have had to pay Preem in cash.
For real?
Yeah, he's about his business. So whatever it was, we took care of it. And it was like, I scratched that off my bucket list at a young age.
Yeah, the first album.
So to be able to like build a relationship with him and actually be able to say that we're friends, and then now he's like a mentor, and we in a group together. Oh, that's beyond the bucket list.
Yeah.
That's beyond the bucket list. That's like some other shit.
That's like every MC's wet dream.
Yeah.
Straight up, like.
Yeah, man. So that's why, I do like the homage on stage. Like, I pay homage to him every night on stage. I mean, I'm just constantly just thanking him, you know what I'm saying, for his camaraderie and his leadership and his stamp of approval.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. I'm from Detroit. I didn't come up in the New York hip-hop scene, and pretty much the way that I fell in love with hip-hop and making music is more widely accepted in New York than it is in Detroit, because I was one of those kids. I was raised by my parents, but I was also raised by the TV.
Yeah.
The TV was my outlet. I used to look at all the videos and shit. I used to see the way people were dressing. I was influenced by the entire culture, not just what was on the radio. I love some of the things that were on the radio, but the things that were on the radio were kind of limited to just maybe what the programmers wanted to play, or metrics and things that my young mind didn't understand.
Yeah.
I just knew I liked what I liked, and I wanted to hear more than just what was on the radio. I was intrigued by the artifacts, fucking Busta Rhymes and the whole Death Row movement, DOC, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, you know what I mean, Snoop. I was just intrigued by hip hop from different places, and then, you know, when everything started taking off, and Atlanta made its surgence, you know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta started moving, and like all of these different places, and then Nelly and them started doing their thing in St. Louis, and it started to get cool, because it was like, damn, all of these cities is just taking off, and all of them do something different.
Yeah.
That shit was like wild to me, you know what I mean? So.
And in Detroit, you're kind of in the mecca of kind of hearing everything.
We got our own shit too, but we even got, in Detroit, we got a culture within the culture.
Yeah.
We got like Doughboys Cash Out, Icewear, Vezo, all of these dudes that like, they sound like hybrids of the era before them of street rap, local street rap. And it's a certain sound and you recognize it from like a mile away.
Yeah.
It is so dope. I think that's so dope, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody is a product of what their influence is and what made them fall in love with the culture.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about music, man. You know what I mean?
But most definitely. And I actually, with that being said, I'm curious. What was the first joint you ever bought from PRhyme? Was it Boom?
It was actually.
Or was it my friend?
My friend.
Oh, dope.
That was the first one because we I met him.
That shit's fire.
We got on the phone. Me, him, and Keno got on the three-way, and we had a conversation about. I told him the concept. And he was like, yeah, all right, I could do something like that. You know, I'm into that concept, you know what I'm saying? So it was like we did it, and it came out dope. And then immediately I was like, man, I need at least one more.
Yeah.
And by that time, when we started really kind of hitting it off, and you could tell he was kind of taking to me a little bit, like, this is my little nigga right here. I fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? So I went up to the studio one day, and he was playing the Boom beat. He was supposed to make my beat right after that. And I was like, well, he was like, all right, I'm about to get on yours right now, Royce. I'm just finishing this up now. And I was like, well, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, this is just some shit I'm doing for Capone and Noriega. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I'll be done with yours in a second. I'll be done with yours right after I do this.
For real?
And I was like, I looked around and I ain't see no damn Capone and Noriega. So I was like, yo, I want that one. So he was just like, nah, I told Nori, I was like, look, bro, did you tell Nori? He's like, nah, I ain't telling him yet. I was like, well, I want this beat. You know what I'm saying? And I think I sat there and begged him for a long time. And I finally got the beat from him, and then he ended up making Capone and Nori's beat right after that.
And would that have been Reunion? Or?
That ended up being, I believe it was Reunion.
Yeah?
I believe it was Reunion. So it probably would have been switched. I probably would have ended up with the Reunion beat and they would have got Boom.
Which is still dope, but
yeah,
I mean...
it would have been dope either way.
But Boom is like...
dope either way. Boom was just a good fit for where I was mentally at that time.
Yeah.
You know, because the Reunion beat probably would have made me write something a little more introspective. And at that moment, I just wanted to spit some shit. I just wanted to do some rapping. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that worked out good. But
and I would definitely say it's one of the landmark songs of your career.
Thank you, man. Nori always laugh at that story too. Every time I tell that story.
That's crazy. Cause and no disrespect to Nori, but I definitely think that you, the lyricism you displayed on that,
yeah, I mean,
probably wouldn't have been matched by Nori.
I mean, bro, they went and made a classic anyway.
Yeah, the Reunion is.
Yeah, so
that's the jam. Everything happens for a reason.
Everybody wins in the scenario, you know what I'm saying?
Everything happens for a reason. But actually, so to continue on the subject though, PRhyme 2, you guys got that. You guys are starting to work on it. It's not complete yet. Is the concept of that going to be all Adrian Young samples again?
We're gonna go with Ant-Man Wonder this time.
Oh, really? Okay. So you switch it up.
We're gonna switch it up every time.
Dope.
We're gonna switch it up every time, just so we don't limit it.
Yeah, because
to a certain thing.
That's exactly what I was why I wondered.
The last thing I want to do is put PRhyme in a box.
Yeah.
You know, like everything, the whole PRhyme situation revolves around how comfortable he is producing and pulling things from one source.
Yeah.
So my thing is, why not switch up that source every time? That way, it stays exciting to PRhyme. You know, I don't want him to. I don't want to lose him. I don't want him to lose enthusiasm over it.
No.
Just to keep pulling the same thing over and over and over again, you know. So I'm gonna figure out a way to do more work with Adrian, just because I think he's a genius and I love everything that he does.
His music literally sounds like it came out of the 70s.
Yeah,
literally.
And,
it was the perfect artist for you guys to jump with for the first PRhyme.
It was just, you know, we started working. PRhyme had some Ant-Man Wonder stuff, and he was really liking it. We didn't have any new Adrian stuff yet to work with, and we just kind of wanted to get started. And it was like, then the idea just kind of came up, like, yo, what if we went to a different source every time? That would make it kind of fresh. You know what I'm saying? That would probably give it a little bit more shelf life and keep it a lot more interesting and unpredictable.
Yeah, because then you're not relying on Adrian Young's career to.
Yeah, then you never know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
You never know what you're gonna get. You know, so it's just.
And it's kind of more hip hop too, to keep switching up the references.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, we can always go back, because Adrian he fan forever. So we can always go back and do more stuff if we need to. You know, so.
Yeah, man, and congratulations on PRhyme, because this is not bullshit, but I've been vouching for it ever since it came out. I bought it on vinyl the first week I could get it at Sonic Boom, and that's my favorite album of 2015, hands fucking down. Hands fucking down. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to put it in that box, but I almost have to, of Illmatic, because I throw that on and there's not a track I need to skip. It's 9 tracks and there's nothing I need to skip.
Wow.
And I know most of the words to it and all that too. Like that was the soundtrack of my life for about 4 months, actually.
Thank you, man.
For real, I love the PRhyme, and I'm so happy that you guys are doing more, and I'm so glad that you got DJ Premier to come out of, just come out and do something completely different, because the sound on that album was so innovative to, I don't know, maybe the last year or so previous to that of his. I mean, he's always putting out bangers, but that was just like brand new PRhyme. It was just like, wow. And then your rhyme display on it was completely unlike I'd ever heard. It was just a breath of fresh air.
Thank you, man.
And but anyways, before we move on from the Primo subject, I apologize to keep him a #1 topic here. But I'm a huge Primo fan. I've always wanted to see Primo and Eminem rock a track together. And a few years ago, there was a rumored song called Keys in the City that was supposed to come out. I'm just curious if you might know, being with your close relationships with both, if that song ever actually existed.
I never heard of it.
No?
I never heard of it.
Do you know if there might be any chance of Em and PRhyme ever doing a joint together?
A chance of them working with each other?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's DJ Premier and Eminem. Like,
yeah.
You know, that's always a possibility. You know what I mean?
You should try to make that.
I know how PRhyme feels about M, and I know how M feels about PRhyme.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course it's a possibility.
And then with PRhyme doing co-production with Dre lately and everything, it just seems like everything's moving in that direction.
I mean, you know, man, those kinds of things, I'm a firm believer, man, that like the hip hop universe will make sure that happens when it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, it may look like it's inching its way there, but I mean, man, I'm pretty sure PRhyme reached out to him and just was like, yo, let's do this. If PRhyme had a particular thing that he was looking for that he may have needed Marshall for, or vice versa, if Marshall wanted to go for a particular sound,
specific,
he wanted that sound,
it probably
could happen easy. Yeah. So it's just gonna, the stars just gotta be aligned. The hip hop guys gotta be looking down on us.
Yeah.
And ready to bless us.
Definitely.
That union, you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's honestly, that would be, just as a hip hop head, man, that would be one of the biggest things. But in the joint Dead President's Heads, you dedicated a good like 8-bar segment to the Outsidaz. I was just curious, after, because you said it was back in 97 or so, or whenever the incident was, but I was just curious kind of what sparked you to bring that back up and bring that into the light now.
Well, M made a song where he was bigging them up.
Yep.
Okay. For some reason, when he did that, they took that and turned it into a negative. Like, they started dissing him. But not only did they diss him, they all started dissing me.
Are we talking the Fine Line joint?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it wasn't Pace, though.
Yeah.
It was Young Z. Young Z was dissing the shit out of me. Young Z and 2 other guys in Dread, so I can't even remember what their names are. But 2 of the other guys in Outsidaz. I only ever really knew Pace and Z.
Yeah.
I didn't really know the other guys like that, but it was 2 other ones that just kept dissing me. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess since the diss records, they never ended up being that big of a deal, so a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
that they were. But not only were they doing that, they were like on my, especially Z. Z was like all over my Instagram. Every time I post something, he'd be in the comments talking crazy.
Oh shit.
He'd be posting all type of shit about me, saying shit, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of got on my nerves because it was like, yo, man, like you dissing me to get attention from this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I haven't done anything to you.
And this dude just gave you accolades too.
He ain't did nothing to you, but that's not even my place to say. You know what I'm saying? My thing is me. Why are you talking about me, dog? Me and you never had a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I was doing Dead President's Heads, I just thought to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing I was holding on to or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, because it
was just more actually from the recent.
They was entitled to their opinion from back then. You know what I mean? Like, I always knew they felt that way. You know what I'm saying? But it was no big deal because they never were my friend.
Yeah.
They're Marshall's friend. They're his boys. So it's like everybody who was around Marshall at that time had some type of feeling toward me one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like, that was just all of us being young and competitive. Marshall had, he had the glow. He had the glow, and everybody was fighting volleying, fighting for, that's the spot.
Yeah.
To be next to him, to get the opportunity to be able to leap from that platform. So
that's kind of almost what sparked the D12 Royce thing too.
Yeah. So it wasn't nothing. Never was nothing personal. With them feeling that way. They felt like I wouldn't last. All right, cool. They weren't the only ones saying it. There was plenty of people saying it. You know what I mean? So no big deal. But when I made mention to that on the record, it wasn't because I was holding on to it. It was just I felt like talking about it because during that segment of the freestyle, I was just talking about like. I was just going to talk about people saying that I wouldn't last, but I just so happened to pop in my head that they said it, and they had been dissing me, so I was like, all right, I'm going to give them a couple lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was pretty much it. I mean, I was totally ready to respond, but I was totally ready to respond because I knew they would come back rapping with a bunch of records. I knew that was going to happen. But the thing that threw me off was when they came back acting like they didn't know where my diss came from. Played the victim. So I was like, all right, I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah. Because
now y'all making this some WWE shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being honest and saying that y'all came out dissing me. You know what I'm saying? And I was responding to you. I wasn't picking on you, man. I ain't never been no bully in this business ever in my life. What I look like bullying somebody?
Yeah.
I'm defending myself like I always do.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? If they would have stood up like men and admitted to it, then we could have went back and forth, and it could have been beneficial to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything for me to go back and forth with the Outsidaz.
Yeah.
But I was willing to do that, but not on those terms.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely, I feel you. If you could translate your rap style into a Mortal Kombat finishing move of your choice, like you make it up off the top, what would it do to your opponent? Fitting question after what we just talked about.
I mean, the first thing that pops into my head is pulling the head out of the torso with the spinal cord attached to it.
But like, this is for you to make up, though.
Okay.
I got the
My rhyme style. My rhyme style. Okay. I would fucking unscrew your head, take the top off of it, pull your brain out, and spin it on my finger like a basketball. And just be sitting there like with the middle finger like with your brain spinning.
Infinitely spinning.
Yep.
That's funny.
Brain bender.
All right, thank you very much, Royce. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we can catch up again.
Yeah. Breaking fucking Wreckords Radio.